So, hello, first of all, excuse my appearance. I did not wash my hair and really didn't do much to it at all. I am in the car, obviously. I'm going to meet my sister at Starbucks. Today's her birthday, so we're gonna get a coffee. And I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed lately. A little bit of anxiety. I think a lot of it comes from the fact that I am almost 34 weeks pregnant. So things are, going to be happening soon. And I'm nesting, but I don't have that much energy. So it's kind of frustrating because you want to get stuff done, but you can't, I was vacuuming yesterday and my back started hurting and I was like, I'm sitting down. And I was going to mop and then I didn't end up mopping, and it's like you want to do stuff because you don't just want to sit there and I don't know. So I need to get gas. So I want to talk about, I don't know if this would be considered mom guilt before you even have the baby. So I don't know. Okay, let's just call it the stresses of pregnancy, mom guilt, that sort of thing. I'm not gonna edit this. I'm just gonna post it. But we obviously are so excited. We did try to have a baby, and we're so blessed that it happened so quickly, and everything has been pretty much perfect as far as health goes. But I do have anxiety, and say what you want, whatever, I don't care. Obviously it's been approved by my doctor, so if you have an opinion about it, just don't say your opinion or your comment will be deleted. But I've had to stay on my anxiety and antidepressant medication. I only take one. I've had to stay on it this entire pregnancy. And obviously, if I didn't need it, I would not take it. And I went back and forth, but then I realized with the stress of pregnancy, because you're constantly worried, is everything okay? Blah, 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 and your hormones are crazy. So I've had to be on it the entire pregnancy. And thank God, because even being on it, I have struggled a ton with anxiety. Not anxiety about having the baby. Not even anxiety about giving birth, really. Just anxiety in general. Just not really knowing why I'm anxious. Very self-conscious. All this is it's getting better now. Or it's gotten better. It was really, really bad for about 3 months. Kind of like right in the middle. So I was extremely stressed out. We had a lot going on. There was other reasons that we were stressed out, and just we had a lot going on. And I ended up, I talked to my doctor. I said, I have had anxiety and it's gotten worse. Anxiety and depression kind of thing, mostly anxiety. My anxiety triggers my depression, usually. They kind of go hand in hand, but I told her that I was worried because just the way that I am, when I have anxiety, I can't eat like I normally can. I force myself to eat because I know that I have to eat, but I can't eat a lot because it will make me sick. So I told her, I said, I'm telling you this because I'm worried because, my eating habits have kind of slowed down because I'm just so anxious and I feel so sick all the time. So she was like, it's totally fine. At that point, I think I lost like 5 pounds. And the baby, the whole pregnancy, the baby has measured on track or ahead a week. So the baby's been fine this whole time. And so I was talking to my doctor. She's like, some people still go through morning sickness their whole pregnancy and they're throwing up. You're not throwing up. As long as you eat something during the day, I don't really care what it is, then it's fine. So, I would have to force myself for a while to eat. And I ended up being, they have a kind of a scale of what they want you to weigh, and you have to be in between, obviously, the lowest. I don't know how their scale is or whatever, but she showed me on her computer it was like a chart, obviously, with the lowest and the highest, and you had to be somewhere in between. Well, I apparently had fallen a little bit low. And this isn't low as far as I didn't weigh enough. This is low as far as the weight I was gaining during my pregnancy, if that makes sense. Since I had lost weight, obviously I fell down on the scale. And she still wasn't concerned. She was fine. We ended up getting it figured out. And I've still had anxiety, but it's much better. But this whole time, I felt so guilty. I felt guilty because I knew that my worry and my anxiety was not good for the baby. I was crying every day, several times a day. And I mean, sobbing. And I knew this was not just pregnancy hormones. I knew this was severe anxiety. And I'm trying to think of how to... I felt guilty because I'm like, I have to take care of myself in order for this baby to continue to grow like he's supposed to, and but everything was fine and is fine, and every time I'd go to the doctor, they'd tell me everything was fine. I have thyroid disease, so I do have to have ultrasounds every 5 weeks. So we were seeing him, he was moving, still is, he's still fine, he's measuring a week ahead, but I just remember feeling so guilty because I knew that I had to be okay for him to be okay, but I knew I wasn't okay and there was nothing really I could do about it. So it was very stressful. And like I said, originally I was like, I don't want to be on and there's certain classes of antidepressants and anxiety medication, and it has to be within a certain class for them to approve that you stay on during pregnancy. And there's no with the medication I'm on, there's no connection to any like birth problems or anything like that. And my doctor said, I feel like it would be worse. You basically have to outweigh with pros and cons. It would be worse for the baby if I did not take my anxiety medication. So I've been on it the whole time. Again, thank God. And so basically that was about maybe 3 months ago. And I'm in a much better place than I was. I'm still stressed out and overwhelmed, but that's just the kind of person that I am. I can eat like normal. That's not an issue anymore. But I've had some anxiety about things that I never would have thought I would have had anxiety about. And pregnancy is amazing. And I, overall, other than when I was going through all that with the anxiety, my pregnancy itself has been very easy. Very easy, very healthy. I'm super blessed. I had morning sickness, but I never threw up, anything like that. Sorry, this is probably distracting. It's distracting me. It's been great. But people don't really talk about stress during pregnancy. I hope what I'm saying makes sense to somebody. But people don't talk about stress during pregnancy, depression, anxiety during pregnancy. At least that's not what I see. And it's hard because it's supposed to be such a happy time. And everyone's expecting you to be so happy. And you are happy. You're happy that you're pregnant. You're happy about the baby. But you can't, get past your anxiety or depression. And that's okay. Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you're not still a person. I don't know. I just feel like I had to say this because I had to tell myself this. And I'm like, great, I'm going to look back on my pregnancy and only remember the 2 or 3 months that I was absolutely miserable and crying every day and blah, blah, blah. But first of all, so what? At the end of your pregnancy, you have a baby. God willing, everything goes like it's supposed to for everyone. And you have a baby. And that's obviously going to be the best part. So it's okay if you struggle during your pregnancy. I mean, think about just your life in general. You're going to struggle in your life at some point with something. But it doesn't mean your whole life sucks. So I don't know. I just feel like people are like, people are really quick to blame it on hormones, and people are really quick to say like, you're pregnant, you should be grateful. It's like, I am grateful, but and nobody said that to me. It's just the way I felt, and that's why I kind of call it mom guilt, because I felt guilty for feeling that way. And I felt guilty that I was sad all the time because I'm like, my life is great. I don't have, I don't know what to do. But I mean, that's just anxiety. It's just what happens. If you feel during your pregnancy, there's plenty of women that have terrible pregnancies that are still thankful for their baby and still thankful to be pregnant, but they have a really hard time. That's normal. So, I don't know. I guess I shamed myself. Again, nobody said this to me. It's just the way I felt. I was mom shaming myself for feeling down, but that doesn't mean anything. because I'm still so happy. I can't wait for him to be here. Now I feel anxious because I just want him to be here. Not because, like, oh my God, I'm tired of being pregnant, which, I mean, won't say I'm tired of being pregnant, but being pregnant is a lot harder than I thought it would be. Let me just say that too. It is not what I expected. Would I do it again? Absolutely. All over again. Even if I had thrown up every single day, it would have been totally worth it. But there's a lot of stuff that comes along with it. Self-confidence issues that I did not think I would have. That surprised me. That's one of the things that surprised me the most, was just your self-confidence. And everybody else thinks it's so beautiful that you're growing a baby, and it is, but you're like, oh my God, like, I feel disgusting. I feel fat. And then everybody's like, you're pregnant. You're not fat. Like, I know that, but I feel fat. I think it's just hard not feeling like yourself for that long. I think that's what it is, but I don't know. I've had anxiety. This is another thing I want to talk about. Anxiety about breastfeeding. And I don't know why, because I am so open to formula feeding. I'm going to try my absolute hardest to breastfeed. And, you know, I really am. Unless it just will not work out, I plan on breastfeeding. But there's nothing wrong with formula feeding your baby. And I know that. Yet I still have anxiety about being able to breastfeed. I think it's because I can't control it and I can't, like, practice. So, I don't know. I have no idea what it's going to be like, or, you know, how long it's going to take. I've heard it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. So I've been kind of stressed about that. And I've been stressed about postpartum depression. And I don't know. I don't know how it works when you have anxiety and depression originally. I really don't know if that makes you more likely to have postpartum depression. I really should ask that. I should ask my doctor that. But I feel a little bit better that I am already on medication, and my medication is safe for breastfeeding also. So I'm like, okay, you know, don't worry. I know what the signs for postpartum are. I just am so terrified, and I've had several conversations with Matthew. Like, look out for the signs of postpartum. If I start acting weird, you know, you need to tell me so I can get help right away. Because I don't want to spend the first part of my baby being in this world feeling terrible. So I've been stressed about that pretty much the whole pregnancy. But I feel like being stressed about it has prepared me, and I feel like I will be even more aware if I start to get symptoms of postpartum. I feel like I'll be looking out for it more. So that's good, because it's scary, because a lot of women, they have no idea that's what they have. And for some people, it is so severe. It's terrible, and it's terrifying. It is literally terrifying. So, yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. It's okay to be nervous about that. It's okay to be nervous about things. Like I said, I don't know why I'm not nervous about giving birth. I'm not really nervous about labor. I'm not nervous. I plan on getting an epidural, but I don't have a set birth plan, because I have what I would like to do in my head. And, you know, obviously I'll tell my doctor. If I can help it, I would like to obviously have a vaginal birth. If that doesn't work out, then a C-section obviously is the option I'm going to go with if it's safer for my baby. I'm very open-minded about the whole birth experience. So, I don't know. My point is, this is getting really rambly, and I'm not going to edit it because I don't feel like it needs to be like this whole edited thing. I just wanted to kind of talk about it. My whole thing is, it's okay to have weird feelings while you're pregnant. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to think about... It's normal to think... I mean, because I've thought about it. Obviously, I wouldn't change anything, but, you know, you think about how much things are going to change. You think about your marriage after you give birth. You think about how your life, you know, obviously it's going to change. You know that it's going to change for the better, but change is still scary. So that's normal. And I don't know. I just wanted to say that because I feel like I'm getting off on so many tangents right now. But this is kind of what I want my YouTube channel to be. Not like Dr. Phil, but I just want to be able to talk, and people, you know, if it helps you, then that's great. I want there to be substance to the content that I'm putting out. Not that, you know, there's nothing wrong with makeup tutorials, hair tutorials. I love those. I watch them all the time. But my point is, while I still would like to upload, you know, I'm still going to talk about makeup and hair and all that fun stuff. But was that my mom? I'm still going to talk about makeup and hair and stuff like that, but I don't want that to be my whole channel, basically. So I still want to be able to express myself in more ways than just beauty, if that makes sense. Okay, I have been on here for 23 minutes. If you watch this whole video, props to you. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.